Oh, we can talk a little bit about Wild Rift too. They have like the patch 5.2 preview, which looks good. I'm a fan of Wild Rift, and I think a lot of the stuff in Wild Rift is better than actually League of Legends. Like when I play League of Legends, it's too freaking long. Like it's too long of a game. I mean, 30-minute
Wait, really?
game
How long
with
are
the
the
first
games?
10
Oh,
minutes
okay.
is dragging. It's like I have to, okay, I don't even know if we're gonna. Yeah, the first 10 minutes is basically always the same. It's always exactly the same. There's nothing really, unless someone's stupid and pushes too hard. Uh, it's pretty boring. The first 10
Oh
minutes.
yeah.
Then the second 10
I
minutes
think
is
that's true
all
for every
action.
MOBA. Yeah.
Yeah, and the second 10 minutes is all action. It's really exciting. Like that's decides who's gonna win the game. The last 10 minutes is you one
Is
side
winning or losing the
landslide at the
game.
other. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, and
I think
losing in
every
most
MOBA
cases.
follows that trend, right? Where the early game is always gonna be really methodical, because like you're just sitting in lane doing your thing, like whatever your hero needs to do for that early game, you're doing it. Like I think unless you're support, especially, like the game is very methodical early game. Mid game, yeah, you're right. That's where things teeter one way or the other. And then late game is like, depending on your team comp, you might be a very late heavy team, you know, where you just have a lot of good late game champions or heroes or whatever the heck MOBA you're playing. To where you can maybe shift things over to your side and, you know, like turn things around and win the game. Or you don't, and then you just start losing from like minute 20 onward. I
Yeah,
think most
and it's the
I
same
think
thing.
most MOBAs are gonna go that way. Yeah, like most matches. But what's crazy is that I still have over 1,000 hours in Dota, and yeah, most matches felt the same to me. And yet there I was hitting play again, baby. Like MOBAs just have that addicting feeling to them. But yeah, you're saying that um, that this other MOBA is much more like just faster games.
Yeah, so I agree with you 100% that the in essence a MOBA is addicting. Like you always want to just play another game, another game, another game, even if it took 30 minutes. You know, like I could easily
Yeah,
go a
it's
whole
really easy
day
to
on
jump
League of
back in.
Legends.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not saying I can't do that, but I don't always have like all day to do 30-minute game, 20-minute queue, 10-minute queue, whatever, and then another 30-minute game. Wild Rift is so much faster paced. Like it's so much faster. Even the games, like the maximum a game is 20 minutes, and it's never a landslide, and you always have a chance to come back. Like it always feels like I can, like even if you're getting pushed and they pushed all of your towers up for the last ones, you could do one amazing push and push the whole game just because the map is smaller, much smaller. And then I feel like I get more of you select your preference, like you pick the role that you want, which I always pick jungler, even in League of Legends. But in League of Legends, I feel like a lot of times I don't get jungler. In Wild Rift, almost pretty much every game I'm getting jungler, which is what I want to play.
That's so interesting. I wonder if it's just like, you know, like different audience. You know, like different people are going to gravitate towards the two different games. Because yeah, I feel like jungler is always a very
Maybe.
popular role in every MOBA. Like people like that feeling of like control over the game and getting those early kills. Like I think most people
Yeah,
like
I love
that.
jungler.
Yeah, dude, I agree. Jungler is very fun, and Smite, I love jungler. But yeah, I'm really surprised that Wild Rift does not have that, like that everyone jumping for that role, like how it usually
Yeah,
is.
I don't know what it is. Like I don't know if pistol people are jumping for the role, but I'm always getting my preference, which is jungler. And then there's less levels. In League of Legends, the level's 18, the cap. In Wild Rift, it's 15. And I feel like that makes a huge difference. I feel like I'm leveling faster too. The whole game just feels sped up. And then it looks better. It legit looks better. Everything looks better. All the models. Like I wish for a lot of the times for my videos, I rip the League of Legends models. I wish I could rip the Wild Rift models because they're 100 times better. They're more detailed, they look better, their interactions are better, everything. If you look up a video of like a Wild Rift character, you'll see what I mean. Like they need to move these characters into League of Legends. It looks like a different game. I mean,
Yeah,
this
I've never
feels
thought
like that's
about
the
this.
actual character, and League of Legends looks like a character of from 10 years ago.
Yeah, I've never thought about this, but I just looked up when League of Legends came out, and it was 2009. So this is running on a
Yeah,
2009 engine, where I mean, like, granted, it's a MOBA, right? So it's not like there's a bunch of assets they need to render at any given point in time. Like, it's not like it's anything too insane. But I'm guessing they just cannot have anything that high fidelity because it's just an old game at this point in League of Legends.
yeah. I mean, It's everything. Like, yeah, maybe that's what it is, because even when you're interacting, like when you're doing stuff with the different characters, it feels more it feels smoother. Like the whole game just feels a bit more smooth and buttery, and like everything feels more, I feel like more like I'm punching something. Like if I'm playing Lee Sin and I'm punching something, it feels like, oh, I'm really doing that. But then I play it
Yeah, there's
and
more
I play the
impact.
same character. Yeah. And I play the same character in League of Legends, doesn't feel the same. It feels more static and like choppy.
So like how long is the average
Wild
game of
Rift?
Wild Rift?
15 to 20 minutes.
Okay, that's a huge difference. That is
Yeah,
genuinely
yeah,
like a
no,
world
it
of
is. And
difference.
yeah, it's much faster. And the whole game is faster. Like everything about it is faster. Getting leveling up feels faster. Getting the gear feels faster. Killing mobs feels faster. The team fights, everything feels like quicker. I don't know. I get like a lot of people don't like the touch interface, which I do not play on my phone. I could never play this game on my phone. I definitely play it on the iPad,
that'd
like
be
a nice
nasty.
big display, and I like it.
Oh, that's fair. Like, so like, do you not have any like peripherals, or are you straight up using touchscreen?
Yeah, I use my iPad.
That's wild to me. That's the wild and Wild Rift, is that you're using touchscreen. That's freaking insane to me. I'm gonna be honest, I can't imagine. But I mean, I guess like
You know
as
what
a
they should
like
do?
playing a MOBA, like how many buttons are you really pushing, right? Like you have your
Yeah,
core
no,
abilities.
not that
You
many.
need to control the camera, I'm assuming, so you're probably just like swiping around to control the camera to
Yeah,
like see
you
what's going on the map.
Yeah, and honestly, the controls feel amazing. Like you got the 3 abilities, you can see their how much whatever energy you any like mana each one's taking, or the cooldowns and all that. And you can choose, like you have 3 attack buttons depending on what's by you. So you can either manually like aim each shot, or you can press to auto attack a minion, the closest minion, or auto attack the nearest tower. When the tower comes close to you, like the button appears, and then it'll disappear when you're not by the tower. So it's really good at showing you only what you need when you need it. And then when you buy an item, let's say you buy an item that has an ability, like that ability button will show up, but otherwise it won't be there. So you know how like
Oh,
all your
they got
gear,
active
all your
items too? That's crazy.
yeah,
For a mobile
yeah, no,
MOBA?
I'm telling you, it's a freaking great game. Okay, I don't want to
That's
like
insane to me.
get too much heat on me, because I feel like it's a very, very hot take. It's better than League of Legends.
No, don't worry. Most League players hate League of Legends, so I don't think that's like too crazy for you to say. I think you're fine.
Yeah, it's so true. Yeah, they all hate the game anyways, but bro, I'm telling you, Wild Rift is very fun.
Wait, can you not play Wild Rift like on your computer? Is that like with buttons? Man, they gotta
Yeah, no,
do that.
you can't.
They gotta get on that. I mean, I guess like they don't want to like step on the toes of League of Legends, maybe, but that's just, man, dude. I like my analog buttons. I'm gonna be honest. I like clickety clacks. That's me.
Well, here's what I will say. If you want the clickety clack, I think that there will eventually be Wild Rift. I know they announced it a long time ago saying that, oh, it'll eventually come to console, which it has not yet. I really hope to see Wild Rift on Xbox and PlayStation and the Switch.
Ooh.
I think
Honestly,
it'd be great
on the Switch
on
would
those.
make a lot of sense, because I'm sure it will run great on the Switch if it can run on. Actually, the Switch is weaker than my phone, so I don't know. Never mind. I was gonna say if it runs on my phone, it
Man.
can definitely run on the Switch, but genuinely, no. I have played mobile games on the Switch that have a hard time running compared to my phone. It's happened.
Yeah, and
But
Switch
still,
docked
if
mode
there's
is pretty
any
rough.
yeah, honestly. But hey, if there's any Riot game, I think, like outside of the Riot Forge titles, that could make it onto the Switch and look good, it would be Wild Rift. Or that
So,
or the card game.
I
right?
searched
Legends
up-
of Runeterra.
Yeah, that's true. Legends of Runeterra too, but so I searched up. I was like, is there like an anticipated release date for when Wild Rift will be released on console? And then just recently, there's another Reddit post saying, is this game ever going to launch on consoles or what? It's been 4 years since it released, and the website still says coming soon on consoles. Does it? Let me see.
Wait, what? It's like they confirmed that it will come to console. I mean, if it has
Yeah.
like, you know, gamepad functionality, I'm cool with it. Dude, even if I can hook up my gamepad to my phone via Bluetooth, which like you can do with an Xbox controller, if that is what I need to do to play Wild Rift with a controller, I'll do it. I like having buttons. That's all I need.
Yeah, no,
Well, actually, come to think of it,
you could
controlling the
definitely
camera would
play
be a
this.
nightmare. I don't know.
I
I'm
definitely
not sure
can
how a
see it.
top-down MOBA would work on like with a
With-
gamepad. I'm curious.
No, it would work. It would definitely work, especially like I can definitely see with the joysticks and everything, and then with the buttons. The only thing is actually because the way that they do it on the mobile, right? There's like you'll press the ability and you hold the ability, and then a little arrow will show up around your character, and then you'll drag to aim it, right? Because the active ability, you can't just press it. And so I don't know how you'd be able to aim and press like the A button at the same time, because you have to press A for the ability, but you also have to aim like the arrow. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, that
Maybe
might
that's why
be
it's taking so long.
difficult. I mean, the only thing I can think of is like, if I'm guessing, is there like an auto attack? Do you have a button dedicated to auto attack?
Yeah.
So I would imagine you select the ability, use right joystick to aim, and then press your auto attack button, which could be like right trigger to use your ability. That'd be my guess.
That'd be much slower though. They'd get wrecked by anyone playing on a mobile, because you're pressing the ability, then you're aiming it, then you're pressing the shoot button. Versus me, I'm just pressing once, dragging to aim, and letting go, and that shoots it.
Yeah, I mean, in a perfect world, this releases on PC and we have a mouse and keyboard, honestly. Because I don't think MOBAs, outside of Smite, I don't think MOBAs are made for, like, for gamepad. But honestly, I think I would still prefer it over touchscreen, but that's just more like an aesthetic thing for me. Like, I'll die, you know? I'll call Star Team the game because I want to play on a gamepad. And yeah, controlling the camera sounds like a nightmare on a gamepad. But hey, if they wanna spread this out to other platforms, I'm cool with that. I'd probably try it out if that were the case.
But I think that makes sense as to why we like literally just came to the revelation. I think that's why they were saying it makes sense. Like they looked at it and they said we need to bring this to council, and they said we're gonna figure it out. But then at the same time, it became, the more they tried to do it, the more they realized it doesn't work.
Yeah, who knows? It could also just be like they had a team working on it at some point. The team fell apart, or they had like, you know, something changed, and now it's just like in development hell. I always feel like that's the most likely cause for any like video game, is that it's just like, yeah, they were working on it, but then stuff happened, and now the team's no longer working on it, and it's just kind of sitting there.
Yeah. Well, also, like, I will say this as well. I feel like Wild Rift does a lot more in terms of the events. Like the events feel just a bit crazier. For example, League of Legends, I feel like all their events are, look at all these skins, they're coming with this event. Versus in Wild Rift, they just change stuff. Like they have like something called a T-Hex meta. So you can kill this mob in the middle, right? In the middle of the map. And I always forget the name of it, but I'm always the one to kill it because I'm the jungler. And then what you do when you press the button for after you kill it, you get like a button, an active ability. And when you press it, it summons this creature, and then it'll push the lane. It'll like literally, it headbutts into towers. It does a lot of damage, like you summon a boss. It's in League of Legends, it's in Wild Rift. But with Wild Rift, they literally just changed it. Like the Wild Rift patch 5.2, they changed it. It's supposed to be Piltover, Hex Tech kind of themed. And so they changed it to a T-Hex because it's Hex Tech, and it's like basically a T-Rex, but it's a robotic. It's called T-Hex, and it launches missiles while it's going down the lane, and you can control it.
But you control it directly? That's cool.
Yeah, that's what it looks like to me, and I'm pretty sure. Yeah, you control it. You get abilities and everything.
Oh my god!
A laser jetting T-Rex. Oh. It's called T-Hex.
Jeez. We talked about this like a little bit before, especially when it comes to like Heroes of the Storm. I love me some just straight chaos in MOBAs. Mix it up, dude. Throw in the T-Hex. Hell yeah. If people don't like it, that's on them. All right. Release the T-Hex upon the community. I do not care. It sounds like so much fun.
I'm telling you, man. I feel like Wild Rift is more open to that kind of stuff and like changing things. I mean, there's the little things that you do see in League of Legends where they'll change the Baron Nashor. Like, he looks a little different, but you won't see a T-Hex in League of Legends, I feel.
Yeah,
like, that's only in Wild Rift.
Dota 2 is the same way, right? Like Dota 2, they'll change the map slightly. You know, like they'll move a shop to a different location. Or, like, recently they just expanded the map as a whole. Like, they just made the whole map bigger. And now there's jungles on the outside of the lanes, as well as, like, in between the lanes. They do stuff like that, but it's not gonna be here's a giant monster in the middle of the stinking map. If you kill it, it will now run down the lane and start wreaking havoc upon the enemy tower. Like that, they never throw like just, like tip the game on its head. You know, they're kind of afraid to change the like core objectives of the game, which is kind
I think
of
it's just become so competitive that they don't want to like, it's such a competitive scene now that if they change, imagine they change stuff, everyone's gonna be like, well, I lost rank and because this freaking T-Hex came out of nowhere, I don't know how to deal with it, you know? I
was just like, farming in lane, soaking up the minions, and this T-Hex comes in, destroys everything.
You know what I mean? Like, I can 100% see it.
My tower.
You can see it too.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like, I mean, the thing is, if I get rocked by that, I would just like, it'd be too funny for me to get angry. You know, maybe it's just because I've played so much of Dota that I've become very desensitized to like getting just completely like bulldozed, or like the feeling of like, oh man, I totally got robbed of this game. You know, like, oh, this hero's overpowered, no wonder I lost, blah blah blah. Like, I'm so used to that kind of stuff that like I no longer get mad if I'm like just getting washed. So, but if the T-Hex does it, then I'm at least enjoying myself. Then I'm having a good time because I'm like, this freaking dinosaur just came in and ruined my whole game.
See, but I think it's amazing, and that's what I love to see. I love to see the chaos, like the change.
Yeah, I love.
It feels
the
like,
chaos.
okay, now it's a full new game mode.
Yeah, please. I would love more of that in MOBAs. Just some more stupid fun. But that's definitely, yeah, you're right. That goes directly against the MOBA community. The MOBA community does not want that. They want consistency, you know? They want like an actual proper. I feel like MOBA players want like the same thing as like a sport, like an actual real life sport, you know? Like baseball. People do not want the T-Hex showing up in baseball. That'll ruin the whole thing. They want a consistent sport where you're learning how to play and you're constantly improving and you're learning the game, you're getting better at it, and you're always like playing the same thing over and over again essentially to improve. Like, people do not want it constantly being mixed up. Huh?
Maybe we're the oddballs. Maybe that's the majority of people just want like the standard format. I want the chaos. Like, I want to see something crazy happen. I want to see stuff get changed up. Like, I want to log back into Wild Rift, and my whole goal, at least for the first 5 games, I guarantee you is going to be to get the T-Hex. That's everything that's all I'm going to want to do.
It's so good. But you know what's funny? I think this is our opinion about a lot of games like this. Like MMOs, we feel the exact same way too. Where I want a giant freaking like watcher born creature to show up in the middle of Demacia and start killing people in the MMO. I want that to happen. Yeah. And I think it would be amazing. But I also think majority of people would hate that. They're sitting in their auction house, or they're looking at their bank with all of this like stuff they've made on their character. They don't want to be interrupted by this giant freaking monster coming in and destroying the city. Like, but me, I live for that. I want that so bad. I want some chaos in my MMO. I want some random stuff to be going on while I'm just leveling. I want to die to some giant monster when I least expect it. I think that's so cool. It makes the world feel dangerous. It feels like I'm never safe. And I think that's great. And it makes me want to group up with people so I don't die as much. You know, there's a whole bunch of little stuff like that I'm like, dude, like, be a little uncomfortable in your game, you know? You don't always have to feel safe and know exactly what's gonna happen. But that's just
we enjoy
like
not knowing what to expect every time.
Yeah, I want to be on my toes. Like, I want to feel dangerous, and I want to constantly be surprised by what's going on around me, whether that's in, you know, singing Wild Rush or the Runeterra MMO. I want to be constantly just thrown off by whatever the heck's happening around me. It makes things more exciting, makes things more thrilling, makes me want to come back to the game.
I agree.
Like, what the heck did they do this time? What did those developers do to my game this time?
I hope they do stuff like that with 2xKO. I don't want to see 2xKO get into like a boring, monotonous where it's just the same thing every single time. Like, I want to see some different game modes where it's where they change it up.